What's up guys, Gabriel Varga here. Today we are talking about how to use the lead leg to attack the back leg of our opponent. Very often people are very good at chopping the lead leg, but not the back one. And it is something inspiring that people ask me time and time again. I chop down their back leg, they're hobbling, and they go at the end of the round, how did you do that? And it's not as simple as me just teaching you one technique. You have to have a whole variety of techniques, so when something starts to fail, you have a follow-up or a different fake to keep chopping away on that back leg. So the rear leg low kick, guys, that is our topic of conversation today. All right, guys, I got my good buddy Bob here to help me today. Now, I want you to keep in mind that obviously when people are in a fighting stance, their legs are staggered. That means they're not like Bob where both feet are side by side. Right now, I can attack both sides equally because he doesn't have one leg in front of the other. So what we're going to do to make sure that this is done correctly is I'm going to step out of range so that when I throw my back low kick, the one that I would normally be landing with, I can't actually hit. So now this is more of a proper representation of what I have to do to get closer to low kick with that lead leg to their back leg. Now obviously I could do something very simple like just step through and chop, but most times that means you're going to get countered. As soon as I walk straight in, it's like if I walk towards the screen right now, I step in and you guys can throw a punch at me super easy. So we need to utilize either some angles or some techniques to fake and hopefully get this guy ready to check a kick, which leaves him on one leg, which means he can't check off this one now. So the first one I want to show you guys today is my favorite. It is by far the easiest, and it is a simple front kick setup. So it would look like this. I throw my front kick, I land to the guy's body. Obviously I'm going to back up a little more right now because I would be throwing more like that distance. I throw, I get this guy scared of this kick, I lift. Now from here, I step down, but I don't step straight down, because if I step straight down, that puts me right in that center line where I can get countered. I lift, I fake, and then I step off on an angle. So my head went from here to here. Now from there, what I can do is I can lift, step, and then chop. From straight on, it would look like this. 1, 2. I'm dropping my head down to the side. And what you're hoping this guy's gonna do is focus on the front kick, so he'll either try and catch it, maybe he'll go like this, maybe he'll scoop, but either way, the back leg is heavy. Now, the only danger on this one is if, again, I lift and I walk straight forward, I can get countered. So what I like to do is I like to lift my leg, and the hand that matches the leg that's in the air just comes down the middle a little bit. Just so if a straight punch comes, it goes off my palm. So a little bit faster, it'll look something like this. Up, and down. Again, up and down. And one full speed, I usually give a little pause right here, even when it's full speed. I don't want to come up and down really fast because I've got to sell that front kick fake. So full speed, I'm moving around, I come up, up. And this one works time and time again for me because it's very difficult for somebody to block the front kick, try and do something, and then come across for a super wide low kick. Lovely way to set up that back leg attack. Now the next one I want to move on to is very similar, and we just utilize a step through with a punch, and then from there I can chop down. Same thing, I don't want to walk straight in, I come off on a 45-degree angle, so that when I go to throw my punch, I come 1, and most likely he'll back up a little bit, and then I can come in for that low kick. 1, 2. Time the punch with the low kick. 1, 2. Time the punch a little bit with the step. You don't want to go 1 and then 2 or step and then punch. It's a little bit in sync. 1, 2. Again. 1, 2. And remember, because I'm throwing from really far away, I'm imagining my opponent's here. So when I hit them, I can still reach around to that leg that's in the back. This is the one I'm attacking. Now for my next one, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna work off our lead leg knee. Has to be the lead leg. I don't wanna go from here, step down, and then try and low kick. I'm doubling up off that lead one. So it's either step through, knee, or skip, knee. Now as soon as I get that skip off and I land that knee, the next thing I wanna do is I drop is get my head off the center line, because if I hang out here for too long with my head really in that squared up position, I'm gonna get countered. So it has to be 1, 2. My head drops. A little bit faster will look something like this. I can start from far back. I come 1, and again, maybe a little closer. Standing here, get my skip off. 1, 2. Couple more times. In tight to start. 1, 2. Or step through. 1, 2. The footwork on this one is fun too, because once I skip my knee off, I have to drop and then just step off on an angle. Or same thing, I come through, I knee, drop, little step. Just a little bit of a, from here, little jump step, just to get that head off the center line and keep yourself a little safer. Now the 3 that we've already done, we went 1, 2, 1, 2, and now 1, 2. All of those I would say are sort of intermediate level. They're a good entry point into this technique. But as we get more advanced, we want to be able to also throw from this position here. Usually in this position here, I'm able to low kick the outside of the leg, and I'm able to use my lead foot to attack the inside. It's an inside low. So you guys just have to bear with me here a little bit. Maybe we'll turn Bob a little bit sideways. It makes him a little bit wider. So I'm not trying to attack the front of his body, I'm trying to get way around to the back. But if I'm in fairly tight here and I lean back, I'm not at that range that I want. So I have to do some fancy footwork to make this work. Now the one that I prefer more than anything else, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this, because you have 2 angles you can go, 2 45-degree angles that I can cut to. Going this way gets your head off the center line, and going this way moves you into that overhand right. But I find that when I bring my feet together, it's kind of like sidestep. It's kind of like shuffle, shuffle. I come up, I lift this leg, and then I drop down. When I utilize that one, because of my high head and the little lean back, I've never got countered doing this. So the technique looks something like this. I'm standing here, I'm within range of my low kicks, attacking the lead leg, but I want to get around to the back one. So I shuffle step myself a little bit wider, I lift my leg up at the same time, and I come for that back leg low kick. And if you guys can notice, I'm kind of shooting my leg high. So I'm not keeping it really low. I'm not coming to here. I'm lifting it up and then dropping down. And somebody who was fantastic at this was Andy Sauer, 2-time K1 Max champion, 1 win in 2005, 1 win in 2007. He would be so good at standing right here. He'd see that back leg heavy and he'd come up and then drop down. Full speed, something a little more like this. And my head is protected the whole time because I keep my hands up and I lean back just a little bit. Now, of course, I can cut the other angle if I'm way out here and I take my back leg and I step across. That's definitely something you can do as well. But the reason I don't utilize that one, if I'm coming towards you guys, it's like this. The reason I don't utilize it, if somebody comes to attack my back leg, but they're moving this direction, it's very easy for me to get the checkup. I don't have to really get too far across. But for the last one I showed you where I shuffle step and I come around to block that kick, because they move from here over to here, I have to get this leg up and really across. It's not like I can even do it unless I fully rotate my upper body. If I just lift and keep everything square, that's as far as I can go. That's not far enough to check. I actually have to come up and turn sideways. And now from there, because I'm facing the wrong way almost, any counter shots or follow-up shots are going to be very difficult for me to deal with. So that is why I prefer to go this direction as opposed to this direction, which many other people take. And the final setup, guys, that I like to get from the front leg to the back leg is exactly what we're doing right here. I'm touching once, and then I'm coming with the second one. Most people will check the first one, they'll drop, and they're usually not fast enough to get the back leg up. And if they go 1 and 2, they usually can't check that either. So what I do is I'm in my fighting stance, I give them a little flick on the inside of their lead leg. 1, as soon as I drop, I do that last move that we just did where I step and shuffle and kick this leg up, lift it high, touch, into the back leg. Touch, into the back leg. These guys are the techniques that allow me time and time again on my opponent to land. I can shuffle step in, I can be way out here, fake, boom. If they start to get a little bit expectant of these, I break it up. I break things up, I attack the lead leg again, make them heavy there, and then I go back to chopping that back leg. And remember, the benefit to attacking the back leg over the front leg is this leg is super conditioned. For me, you can kick this one many times. The back leg is probably 50% conditioned compared to the lead one. And that's because I actually have people kick it. I bet you some people, the conditioning back here is like a 10% or 20% of their lead leg. So if you can get to the back one, chop it down, you will see results and damage so much faster. So guys, there you have it. That is my breakdown, my explanation on how to use your lead leg to attack their back leg. Again, an underutilized technique that I would like to see more fighters implement. The guys who have done it before have been very, very successful at it. And I hope you guys find the time to get a partner and start drilling what I showed you today. So let's leave it there. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you haven't already, join the channel, get subscribed. Train hard, guys. I'll see you back here soon for another video.